Mataji's.
Shri Shuka
Vacha Iti Vayochane Vakyam Dharmayutam Sundritam Nishamya Bhagavan Prita Pratinam Yedam Abravit.
So text 2. Sri Bhagavan Vacha. Okay, I will say it alone.
Sinon, tout le monde a le soleil dans les yeux.
Vachastaveta Janadeva Sundritam Kurochitam Dhammayutam Yashaskaram Yasya Pramanam Brigrava Samparaye Pitamaha Kula Vriga Prashanta. So we will do the word for word for this one because it's more important in my understanding. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Vacha, words, Tava, your, Etat, this kind of, Janadeva, O King of the people, Sunritam, very true, Kulaha Uchitam, exactly befitting your dynasty. Dharma Yutam, completely in accord with the principles of religion. Yashakaram, fit for spreading your reputation. Yasya, of whom Pramanam, the evidence. Brigava, the Brahmana of the Brigu dynasty. Samparaye, in the next world. Pitamaha, your grandfather. Kuravridraha, the oldest in the family. Prashanta, very peaceful, between brackets, Prahlad Maharaj. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O King, you are indeed exalted because your present advisors are the Brahmanas who are descendants of Brigu, and because your instructor for your future life is your grandfather, the peaceful and venerable Prahlad Maharaj. Your statements are very true, and they completely agreed with religious etiquette. They are in keeping with the behavior of your family, and they enhance your reputation. Purport. Prahlad Maharaj is a vivid example of a pure devotee. Someone might argue that since Prahlad Maharaj, even though very old, was attached to his family, and specifically to his grandson Bali Maharaj, how could he be an ideal example? Therefore, this verse uses the word prashanta. The devotee is always sober. He is never disturbed by any condition. Even if a devotee remains in grihastha life and does not renounce material possessions, he should still be understood to be prashanta, sober, because of his pure devotion to the Lord. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore said, Kiba vipra kiba nyasi shuddha kenenaya ye Krishna tadvavita se guru haya. Whether one is a Brahmana, a sannyasi, or a Shudra, regardless of what he is, he can become a spiritual master if he knows the science of Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 8, 128. Anyone completely aware of the science of Krishna, regardless of his status of life, is a guru. Thus, Prahlad Maharaj is a guru in all circumstances. Here, his lordship Vamanadev also teaches sannyasis and brahmacharis that one should not ask more than necessary. He wanted only 3 paces of land, although Bali Maharaj wanted to give him anything he wanted. Homagyan Amachirandasya Ganangala Shalakaya Shakshur Minitam Tasme Shirugave Namam Shri Shitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Svayam Rupa Kadamayam Datati Padam Tikam Vandeyam Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakaramanam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Sham Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Ragunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Saijana Paritam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagannath Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshvari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Karpatarubhyasha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So I will first remind the important word of the verse because they are the base of our explanation. And one word which is really important is kulochitam. So kulochitam means acharya of the family. It's referring to the priest, the family priest in the line of Bhrigu dynasty, which is here Sukracharya. So if you have read the story of Shukracharya, actually he had an opposition with Vishnu in the whole times. So Shukracharya has always the trident of Shiva in his chest because he wanted to defeat Vishnu. So he went to Shiva, and in result of this, he had the trident. So actually, because the family of Bhrigu Muni has been put in danger by Lord Vishnu for some reasons, Shukracharya has always been reluctant to worship Vishnu, even though he knows that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the fact. It's written in the Mahabharata, and you can read the story. This is really interesting story. And as you may know, here Prabhupada refers to the Guru as a genuine Guru if he is a Vaishnava. So Shukracharya, despite the fact that he has personal opposition with Vishnu, he cannot be trustworthy because he doesn't accept Vishnu as the supreme authority because he does not want to obey him. So he tries to comply his disciple Bali Maharaj in the same way to oppose him. So there is a long story in the line of Bali Maharaj. His father Virochan. So he was actually giving his life for dharmic principles. So Virochan was the father of Bali Maharaj, and he was ordaining what should be the dharma of a Raja Rishi. And as you may know, why Bali Maharaj is the king of the three worlds, because Indra lost his position for many offenses. And after that, the demon headed by Hiranyakashipu at that time took the leadership of the universe, the three worlds. And at that time, Indra went to the demigods and to the Lord to ask for forgiveness and for a way to him to get his position back. So first, Indra tried to disguise himself as a Brahmana. And when he went to Virochan, Virochan says, you know, on that times, not so far ago actually, because we have the example of Kamsa, we have the example of Jarasandh, despite the fact that they were not accepting the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they were still following tirelessly the Varnashram Dharma. And for Raja Rishi, for a king, the main Dharma is charity, and charity especially to the Brahmanas. So in the same way that Raja Rasan complied to the to the question or the gift of Krishna disguised as the Brahmana, Virochan complied to give to Indra disguised as the Brahmana what he wanted. And so Indra come and ask, you are a king, a saintly king, and your glories will be spread around the world if you give charity to the Brahmanas. And Virochan says, I'm ready to give anything for you. I'm ready to give my kingdom, even myself, even my head, if you ask. And for Indra, it was the time to ask, to give, to obtain the head of Virochan, because in this way he has the opportunity to obtain back his position. So, in the same way, Indra says, I want actually your head. If you are such a trustworthy king, give me your head now. And Virochan, it says in the Puran, it says in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita that he gave his head with smile. And it's not only finished. The problem is Virochan has 3 sons, and one of them is Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj took the succession, and he was as powerful as Virochan. So Indra did not manage to get back his position by killing the father of Bali Maharaj. So Indra went to the Lord and said, please, my Lord, I don't know what to do. My position is to be the rulers of the heavenly planet, of the Svargaloka. So please help me to fulfill my duties. And what happens? The Lord appeared in that way in the form of Vamanadev in the womb of Aditi, from the semen of Kashyapa Muni. So we have to understand that there is 2 types of guru. The guru is only following Varnashram Dharma, like Virochan. Virochan, it says that in the scriptures that one time he went with Indra to Brahma. And with Indra, he asks for spiritual knowledge. But Brahma replied to both of them, look in the water, and the reflection of the water is the essence of spiritual life. So Brahma and Indra and Virochan went into the bank of a river, and they watched to themselves, and they see the reflection. And Indra understand that this body that I see in the water is not me. That means this body is like a reflection of the self. But Virochan is understand, Brahma told me the truth is in the reflection. That means I am the truth. I'm as equal as the Lord. So when Virochan and Indra went back together, Brahma says, what did you learn by looking at the reflection of the water? Indra says, I learned that there is something more. And Virochan told, I learned that I am as equal as the truth. And actually, Brahma says, you learn everything, so now go back to your home. Virochan went back to his kingdom, but Indra does not did as well. He stayed with Brahma, and and Brahma asked him, "Why do you stay there?" And Indra told, "I think you didn't told me everything. So now, as I am your disciple, my duty is to inquire about everything. So I'm staying there, and I will be patient. If you estimate that I'm qualified as a disciple, you may reveal me the knowledge." So the differences between Vilochan and Indra in that way was Vilochan did not act as a good disciple. He misconstrued the knowledge given by the guru. And in that way, he was misled. But Indra was patient, and that it was his saving grace. So, in that way, the guru, the family priest, as well as the king, as well as the disciple, it's a general understanding. He has to at least have the general distinction of what is matter and what is spirit. You should have this jnana. Jnana means Sankhya Yoga. Jnana means I am able to identify what is the soul, what is the eternal self, and what is a Nemitika Dharma. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says Nemitika Dharma is temporary Dharma. Temporary Dharma is Dharma related to the bodies, related to the activities of the bodies to maintain ourselves. So the problem is when we are not sincere enough about spiritual life, the intelligence, the faith is not big enough to follow the good guru. So there is one important verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, and it's Kama Prema Donakara Vibina Lakshanam. That means there is a difference between Kama and Prem, and this difference is the same as iron and gold. You may find iron everywhere in the world. You may find even in the pasturing ground of the cows. You may find screws in the street. You may find even some iron in your body. Basically, it's everywhere. But the value of iron is nothing good. But someone who is seeing only iron around him, he thinks that is the only valuable metal. So in the same way, similarly, that person who is only seeing not bona fide guru, if he's not sincere enough, he will take diksha from those gurus and he will be misled. That was not the case of Bali Maharaj there. What is our qualification to see the difference between gold and iron? Our qualification to see the difference between gold and iron is to become expert, to have some preliminary knowledge in that. One day, it has been asked to Prabhupada, Prabhupada, how do you distinguish what is a guru? And even how a disciple can know who is a guru and who is not. And Prabhupada answers, you need to have a preliminary knowledge. You need to have at least basic understanding of what is spiritual life. Otherwise, you don't even know what you are looking for. So, there is two types of Shraddha. And Jiva Goswami says there is Lokika Shraddha, that Shraddha is based on convention, on social demeanors, on material opulences. For example, if I come to the temple with Lokika Shraddha, I will like this place because it's in the castle, because there is good people around me, and because I feel not alone, because there is good music, because I'm eating well, because I'm protected and I have security, and because I can feel useful somehow. But all those emotion, all those needs are not related directly to Krishna. They become good only if they are directed to Krishna. So, in that way, Shastriya Shraddha is the good Shraddha. And what is Shastriya Shraddha? Is Shraddha based on the Shastra. So at least before to come and to take initiation to surrender to a guru, I should know by the Shastra or by my intelligence, by a careful study of what should be good and what should be not good, that means Jnana Yoga, I should study if that person is a good guru. Because in the 5th canto it says that the not bona fide guru and their disciples, they have a special place called hell. And they have to wander for sometimes for years and years there. So this is a big responsibility to take a guru. And we need to carefully deliberate. So here in this verse, it says that Bali Maharaj, after a careful deliberation, was thinking to answer to Vamanadev. So we have to understand that a family priest is generally not a Vaishnava, maybe even not someone who can explain you what is the soul. Therefore, he's not a guru, he's not a bona fide guru. Prabhupada was initiated by a Brahmana priest, and this has not let any samskar to him. Same thing for Bhaktivinoda Thakur. They've been initiated, but they don't consider them as gurus. So for them, it was not like that. The Shastra says, Sat karma nipuno vipro, mantra tantra vicharada, aveshnavo guru nasyad, guru svapatsho guruhu. That means the guru should be sat karma nipuno vipro. He should be fixed in his duties as a brahmanas. He should be mantra tantra vicharada, expert in explaining what is Shastras. But if he's not a guru, if he's not a Vaishnava, he cannot be a guru. But if he is a Vaishnava, he is a guru, because he has known the end of the purport of all Vedic scriptures. So I come back to our ability to find gold, to find a good guru. Like Bali Maharaj, he has identified later Shukracharya's iron, because Shukracharya opposed his will to Lord Vamanadev. So after careful deliberation, he was thinking that I can disobey the order of my guru because they are not in line with the will of the Lord, and to be the representative of the Lord, we need to be one in volunty with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, what is our qualification to find gold? In the same way that Prabhupada was saying, my book will not be taken by everyone, because not everybody has the money to buy gold. So what is our money? Our money says Nityananda or Chaitanya is faith. If you want to purchase the holy name, you need faith. So if we want to distinguish between false gold and gold, because gold can be manufactured, gold can be not unalloyed, there can be some iron inside. So in that way, we need careful study, we need to be patient, we need deliberation, we need knowledge. And knowledge of the Shastra means that they all say that the guru, as Prabhupada says in the purport, should not be taken based on material opulences. The guru should be chosen only based on spiritual qualities. In fact, it's obvious that at the beginning of our spiritual life, we find many gurus, they are good managers, they have good speaking abilities, they have many followers, they sing well, and they have a thorough knowledge of what is world, but those qualities may not really be the best asset to choose our guru. Our guru should be chosen based on what is devotion. So what is devotion? We learn in the Bhagavad Gita that the one who wants to choose his guru, the Lord will help him by giving him intelligence. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogamtam yenamam upayantite. So in that way, if I'm resolute, if I'm satatam yuktanam, if I'm always engaged, if I have a sincere desire to bhajatam priti purvakam, to serve the Lord with an allowed devotion, dadami buddhi yogamtam, the Lord will be obliged to reciprocate and to give me intelligence to find a genuine guru. Someone may say, yes, but you can be only engaged totally in the service of the Lord if you have already taken shelter of a guru. That may be true, but there is a Chaitya guru, and the Lord is always inspiring us, guiding us at any moment. In fact, Kriti sadhya bhavet sadhya sadhya sa sadhanabhida nitya siddhasya bhavatya marchanam riti sadhyate. That means faith is always in the heart. Faith is always in the heart, but it has been covered. And by engaging my senses in the activities of the Lord, by engaging my intelligence, my words, my body, we be able to regain that intelligence that will make me choose a bona fide guru and to surrender totally to the Lord. So there is a verse, we know that verse, Baunam Janmanamante Ganavan Mam Prapadyate. But that verse, it says by Baladev Vidyabhushan that verse does not refer to everybody. It refers specially to the Jnani. Amongst the four types of people who comes to see the Lord, the Jnani is the most elevated because what he's looking for is looking for knowledge of the supreme truth. And in that way, Janma karmachame divyam evam yoveti tadvata, the one who knows me in truth, he will be able to come into my abode. But for that, I need to cultivate the will to serve the Lord, the will to understand Him. I need to establish the supreme goal as to become closer to the understanding of who is Krishna, who is the Lord, how to serve Him, what is His activities, and so on. If a guru does not know that, he may give you partial truth, but he cannot be the Jagat Guru. Only someone who gives Tattva in completude will be able to be Jagat Guru, like Prabhupada or like our Acharyas. So, to be able to discriminate is based on our intelligence. And as we said, Krishna is giving buddhi. But someone may ask, okay, I may understand, but Tesham Sastarita Yuktanam Bhajatyam Priti Purvakam seems a little bit elevated to have any material desires, to be always engaged to the Lord's service. So if Krishna gives me only intelligence at that moment, basically I'm lost. I have no intelligence before that. So there is a problem. Someone may ask this question. Yes, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, faith is based on accumulation of pious activities. Faith, I always said, is always there in the heart because our eternal condition is Krishna Nitya Das. But it has been covered. So the process is by pious activities. I will prepare my consciousness to receive the mercy of the Lord, which will give me faith. And Or the faith is coming, or the faith is reawakened, is by the association of the devotees, by being engaged knowingly or unknowingly. But somehow it depends on the Lord and His devotees. Ayam atma pravachina lalabhyo, namedaya nabauna shrutena. That means, namedaya atma pravachina lalabhyo. It's not by your own endeavor, it's not by medaya, by your power, by the power of the mind. It's not by bauna shrutena, by a lot of hearing, that you will be able to get the mercy of the Lord. Yamevesha vrinute te labias, tamevesha vivrinute tena labias. That means, Yamevesha vrinute, I'm revealing tena labias to the one which I give my mercy. That means its bhakti is self-independent. You cannot think that you may win bhakti by cultivating only knowledge of the Shastra. There is a lot of brahmanas, they are family priests, and they know well the Shastras. But actually, they use the Shastra for their own convenience. So, Shastriya Shraddha means I'm genuinely trying to perceive the truth in the Shastra, and I'm genuinely looking for someone who can help me to understand what it can be contrary into in the Shastras, to the Vedic scriptures. Tatu Samanvayat, says the Vedanta Sutra. That means, in order to understand the sutra, I have to harmonize everything. That is a great asset for someone who wants to find a guru. He needs to harmonize the Shastra. He needs to cultivate spiritual knowledge, at least what is the understanding of the soul. So, the guideline for the behavior for the devotees is stated by Prabhupada. Just 1 second, I need the time. Don't have any time, no? What is time? 38. Okay. So, we know well, Vidvagva Purbir Vidadan Namaste Jiveta So Yumaktipad Sadaya Bak. So this is from the verse that Nukampam Su Samikshamano Ujjatma Ivatma Kritam Vipakam. And this verse basically says that the one who is engaging his vag, his words, his vapu, his bodies, his read, that means his heart, but his mind, namaste with obeisances, with respectful attitude, Jivita yo muktipat sadayabak, he will be constantly liberated, and he will be the rightful heir of the spiritual kingdom. That means, for someone who is always engaged for serving the senses of the Lord, he is liberated, so he can be considered as a genuine guru. And not only that, but he will be free from the samsara, from the cycle of birth of death. And anyone who follows his instruction can be granted as well the rightful kingdom of the Lord. So, the problem of Shukashraya, it says in the Brihad Bhagavatamrita that Shukashraya act in that way that because he has affection for Bali Maharaj. When you have affection for your disciple, you want to protect him. But the problem of Shukashraya is want to protect him materially, but not spiritually. So that this misconception does not befit to a guru. So the family priest is not able to give spiritual potency, to unveil that bhakti in the heart of the jiva. of the living entities. Because himself, he has no bhakti. Bhakti is self-manifested, but it can be given by someone who has it. So the family priest cannot attract someone to devotional service because he has not the potency to do so. It's as simple as that. So here we say, also in the verse, that Dharma Yutam. Vamanadev is very pleased with Bali Maharaj because his Dharma Yutam is glorious by following the Dharma. But Dharma is one part of the truth. Dharma means what is eternal, actually. The etymological meaning of Dharma means what is eternal. So our eternal constitution is not to serve in one of the four ashram or one of the four varna. Our eternal constitution is to serve the Lord in the spiritual world. So in that way, we have to understand a verse, Yaisham Purushang Sakshad Atma Prabhavam Ishvaram. Na bhajanti avijananti stanat brashta patanti ada. That means Yamesham Purusam Sakshad. The one who is following Varnashram Dharma, Atma Prabhavam Ishvaram, but neglects me, who I am the source of all life, of his own self. I am the controller, Ishvaram. The one who follows Varnashram Dharma but neglects me, na bhajanti avijananti, is doing so because he has disdain for me. And thus, patanti ada, he will fall from his position of Varnashram Dharma. Because Varnashram Dharma is not a protection, is not a security. In the Kali Yuga, who can follow strictly Varnashram Dharma? Nobody. So basically, you cannot rely on Varnashram Dharma on this age. So those examples of great kings, they may be taken, but we have to understand that our situation is to be under the shelter of Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Our situation is to follow the Harinam Sankirtan Yaga, either by following the instruction of the Acharya, maintaining temple in New Mayapur, serving the deities, either by distributing books, either by cooking for the deities, either by hearing Bhagavatam, either by chanting the holy name. Everything is part of the activity of Harinam Sankirtan Yaga. Everything is sustaining the holy name. Everything is sustaining the propagation of Chaitanya's Mahaprabhu's glories. So if we want to be saved, if we want to be Dharmayutam completely in accord with the principle of religion, we have to understand that Namnam Akari Bauda Nivashava Saktis, Tatalpita Nyamete Smarana Nakala, Ita Drishi Tava Kripan Bhagava Mamapi, Durdevam Iyajani, Durdevam Ridisha Iyajani Nanuraga. My Lord, you have multiple, infinite numbers of names. They are all endowed with potencies, but there is no strict rules to follow them. Okay, so one last question may ask. That means I do not need to follow any rules except chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Someone may ask. But this question is not really intelligent, because tasmat shastram paramanamte karya karya vyavastitao kanat shastram vidanuktam kartam kartum hiyarasi. This is the verse 16:24 in Bhagavad Gita, and it says, Shastra gives to someone who follows it what he needs to know, what is good, what is bad. Shastra gives you the difference in between what is good, what is bad. But someone who does not have any Shastra's knowledge of this, he cannot attain the perfection of the activities. So That means tavat karma kurvita nar nirvidyata yavata. Matkata shravana dova Shraddha Yavan Najayati. This is a verse in the Puran, and this verse says you can only get rid of Varnashram Dharma if you have genuine taste, attraction for the holy name and for the person of the Lord, and if you are totally renounced with material activities and opulences. So as long as we don't have those two assets, because we are in the Kali Yuga, we are mainly relying on the holy name, but still we have to follow the main rules as far as we can, Desha, Kala, Patra, time, place, circumstances, like Prabhupada did. He arranged Varnashram Dharma for us in order that we can at least follow the basic principles. But in different society, like India, obviously it's more conducive to follow Varnashram Dharma. So we can follow more rules, but in the Western countries, it's more difficult because the government is not giving the proper place to install our day-to-day life conducive for spiritual knowledge. So I will finish on this. Bali Maharaj was a great king, and despite that, Shukracharya gave him a bad advice as a family priest. He identified himself as a servant of the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj was very affectionate to his grandson Bali Maharaj, and Bali Maharaj was taking example from his grandfather. In this way, he knew that service of the Lord is higher than everything. So I may renounce even to the three worlds, even to all my possessions, and I will be ready to suffer anything for the pleasure of the Lord. So he gave his head, but in a different way. Viroshan gave his head to Indra. But Viroshan gave his head to Indra, not knowingly what is the essence of spiritual life. Bali Maharaj, despite in contradiction with his father, gave his head, but with the understanding that it means surrender to the Lord. So I think this is what I can say for today. And if you have some question, you can go on. Otherwise, I don't know when he serves prasadam. Hare Krishna.
You said that anybody who knows Krishna can be guru, so I want to know why Rupa Goswami says that guru also needs to control his senses if the knowledge is, all that's necessary.
Yeah, of course. If you know Krishna, that means you know that you have to you have to obviously to know Krishna. You need to retract yourself from material entanglement. Otherwise, you will never be able to know Krishna. Because material nature, material energy, and spiritual energy are like oil and water. You cannot mix together really well. So I understand what you say. That's my answer. But we can say also that when we say that someone who knows Krishna is the supreme truth can be a guru, actually, even despite the fact that he's not mastering his senses, if he can teach you to surrender to Krishna, that means he can already giving you the purport of the Vedic science. A lot of people say something, but they are not able to follow their talking, to walk their talk. So this is the principle of the Kanishta Adhikari, who knows is that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But the problem is, in the Shastra, he is qualified as Sabhakta Prakrita Smrita. He is still a separatist of the Supreme Lord because he has material desires. he has Lokika Shraddha. So if I want to conclude on that, that means Guru can be pure devotee, Uttama Adhikari, Madhyama Adhikari, but if there is no Uttam, if there is no Madhyam, even a Kainishta Adhikari can be taken as a Guru. Why? Because he's the only one who gives the real truth. Even if he does not master his senses, even if he does not show the example, at least he's saying the truth. Yes.
Thank you for the class, Prabhu. We know that Prabhupada, before leaving his body in this last period, was very much concerned with and saying that we should establish Varnashram Dharma. Can you tell me a little bit detailed what does it mean to establish Varnashram Dharma in this?
Varnashram Dharma means Varnashram Dharma means basically that we are following not the Varnashram Dharma without Sanatan Dharma. But Varnashram Dharma becomes Sanatan Dharma if there is Vishnu at the center. So we may follow Manusmriti and those Shastra who are carefully dealing with all the aspects and details of every activities in our lives. But it is said that Baladev Vidyabhushan says in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarva Dharman Parityajya, Amikam Shalanam Vraja. When Krishna says reject all types of Dharma, Baladev Vidyabhushan says it's a big mistake to understand that we have to reject all Dharma. This is completely false. The understanding in this verse means I reject all the dharmas which are not favorable to Krishna, to surrender to Krishna. So you have giving all the the gift to the ancestors, the adoration of the demigods. Everything is also established in the Varnashram Dharma that you have to do that. But our understanding is whatever is favorable to serve Krishna, that becomes Varnashram Dharma. So to finish on that, on the end of this life, Prabhupada was mainly trying to finish his duties, mainly Bhagavatam also. But one day on the walk, someone asked him, "What should do? What is a devotee? How he can be fitted in the society?" And Prabhupada says, "People see us as a parasite because we are not giving to the society, we are not paying the taxes, etc. But does a parasite consider the property of other like himself? Though is a parasite considering the property of others as his own? Yes, a parasite is acting like that. A parasite considers the property of other like his own. That means he's sucking the blood. But the devotee has not acted not as a parasite, because he considers everything as the property of the Lord. So he does not need to work over and over to maintain his body, because he knows that the essence of life is spiritual activities. And Prabhupada says the devotees do not need to endeavor for material activities. The devotees should consider every property as the property of the Lord. And ultimately, to lead this simple life, he just needs a piece of land and a cow. And if there is the knowledge of the Shastras given by the Brahmanas, if there is good association, you just need a piece of land and a cow. Because with a piece of land and a cow, you can lead a simple life. The garden will provide you your necessities, and the cow will allow you to worship the Lord and do what you need. As simple as that. So Varnashram means a piece of land and cows. This is Varnashram Dharma, headed by the Brahmanas. Hare Krishna. So, Grantarab Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,